There are a lot of podcasts out there, but only one with this kind of energy.
Welcome to EVP Show Recaps, Predictions, Sports. Let go, show recaps, predictions, sports.
In one podcast.
Welcome to EVP Show Recaps, Predictions, Sports. Let go.
What is going on, everyone? It's the EVP from the EVP Show, and we are live for your Raw Recap. Hope everybody enjoyed their weekend and start to a new week. Well, WrestleMania is definitely starting to take some shape now. They started that new writer starting us off with a bang again. Had me worried there for a minute. Obviously with the Masked Man coming out. But overall, Raw was a lot better. I feel like it produced tonight. I mean, there were still some spotty moments, but you can definitely start to see where. I mean, we're less than 4 weeks away. It does look like I don't know for sure, but for me, it looks like they have pivoted from Io and Asuka. Based on the promo. Talked about it a little bit yesterday on Scoop, so it's going to be a multi-tag team for that women's tag team championship. I guess it's going to be a lot more teams. Lash Legend and Nia, Charlotte and Alexa, the Bella Twins. Obviously, looks like Bayley and Lyra. They may end up throwing Asuka and Kyrie into the mix as well. I think it works out better that way. Truthfully, if the Bellas are going to win, because they could get a pinfall on somebody like, I don't know, Kyrie Sane or something like that. Nia or Lash wouldn't have to be pinned to actually lose the title. So, I don't know though. Io and Raquel, I mean, they've had that match, but I don't know. It doesn't really feel like a WrestleMania type match. It's just not for me. It's not a story there, but we'll see. There's still like 3 or 4 weeks left. Obviously, LA Knight, like I talked about yesterday on Scoops, I don't know what the hell he's gonna do. Still didn't see anything from Royce Keys. Nothing from Gunther. Like I put out a tweet earlier. You know, Rey Mysterio's obviously got some broken ribs. So that was the original plan, was Gunther and Rey. So I don't know what they're gonna do with Gunther. Looks like we're gonna get a multi-man for Penta's title. Javon Evans is probably gonna be in the mix for that. Maybe Rusev. Yeah, I don't know who else they would consider putting in there. Becky and AJ definitely looks like the clear direction, which I talked about on Scoop yesterday. I didn't think Bayley was winning the title anyway, so yeah. What's going on, Stampede? Very well put together Raw tonight. Yeah, it was a good one. Royce was in a dark match against Otis. Yeah, I saw that on X as well. I mean, I don't know if I seen the report they may put him in that match with Jelly Roll, but hopefully not. I mean, I like to see him on the PLE, obviously, but I don't know. Danhausen would make more sense, but I don't know. I guess we'll find out Friday on more on that. Raquel has improved. Oh yeah, Raquel's tremendous. I mean, if they go that direction, that's fine. You know, Raquel Io, I wouldn't be opposed to it. Figured they would try to go with the Io Asuka story because of the Kyrie Sane thing. So I don't know. For me, that just made the most sense. But if they're gonna have, they got to get Io on the card somehow. Like I said, there's several big time superstars just have the match or doesn't. You can't see the direction for it. Obviously, we saw Randy's backstage call, has the whole X speculating. hurt Ted DiBiase Jr., which I don't think it's him. He's in jail. I don't think that he's going to be getting out. Obviously, Randy's dad, Ric Flair, Kevin Owens, The Rock, didn't mention. So, Royce was in a dark match against Otis. Raw was good tonight. I love the 3 OG Bloodline segments we got. Yes, the Bloodline pretty much took over the show. I mean, there was a couple of spots in Raw that I didn't really. I hope they're done with the Maxine Natty thing. You did see Maxine talking to Austin Theory, so like that's gonna spark up some stuff. Is she gonna end up joining the division? Yeah, I don't know what's gonna go on with that. She needs a change in direction for sure. What's going on, Raymond? Good to see you. As always. Next week is the title. It's non-title next week. Alexis. It's not for the tag team championships next week. I still believe that's the direction they're going. Because even Paul Heyman said even if you have to get them in a non-title match, to get that title shot, I still believe they're going in the direction of the Usos against the Logan Paul. Seth Rollins is not wrestling unless it's Braun Breaker. Said that on Scoop yesterday. So, at first I thought they pivoted to Seth and Brock, but they even got one over on me right there. The one segment that really took over the show was Seth and Brock and Oba. That was fire. Yeah, that's definitely a good way to make it seem like it's gonna be Seth, but like I said, they've been running this Masked Man character in hopes that Brian was going to be coming back. So, I don't know. And obviously, Seth is still a week or two out before being able to get physical as well. Oh, you're good, Alexis. That's not a big deal. I mean, non-title match, though. I mean, they probably have the Vision win next week. That way they earn a tag team title match. And like, all right, well, we won, so we want a title match at WrestleMania. That's as much as I don't really care to see that, but that's probably how that's going to work. But, all right, so we got some people in the comments, guys. Obviously, if you guys don't mind sharing it live, I sent the post out that we're live. I would have to give Raw a 8.25 out of 10. This was a better show. Yeah, at least an 8 or above for sure. Like I said, there was a couple of dry spots, but for the most part, Raw was really good. I don't think it was a 10, but it was definitely 8 or above. There was some really good matches. Penta and Dragon Lee, that they tore the house down. That was a really good match. Obviously, the Roman Punk stuff is always going to be good. So, yeah, definitely a lot better show for sure. Before we get started, just a couple announcements. Obviously, we're getting closer and closer to NXT Stand and Deliver, which is, I believe, 2 weeks from this Saturday. I have a NXT Stand and Deliver and a WrestleMania 42 predictions tweet out there. There's still some openings out there, so you guys make sure to keep retweeting that. Stampede, I don't know if you talked to Michael yet or not. I guess just hit me up in the DMs about that. If you guys, I think I have three spots available for Stand and Deliver. Obviously 4 on the WrestleMania panel. I'm sure as WrestleMania's card begins to shape up, that one's a little further away. But obviously Stand and Deliver is going to be coming up on April. The prediction show is going to be on, I believe it's Wednesday, April the 1st, at 7 p.m. Eastern. So you guys make sure to tune in for that. And also, if you want to be on there, make sure to comment and get with me before so that I can get you on the panel. Yes, you will be cursed if you do not join. I mean, Stand and Deliver is going to be pretty. I feel like it's going to be a pretty good PLE. I think I'm looking forward to NXT tomorrow. 3 big title matches tomorrow as well. Be there, be cursed. and it's actually on your birthday. So happy birthday! I'll definitely tell you. I don't have a happy birthday song on here, and I'm not gonna sing, but I'll definitely tell you happy birthday for sure. Um, but yeah, one other small announcement. Obviously, you guys, if you've been watching my streams, keep it up with my channel. Obviously, thank you to you guys for helping me get over the 200 subscriber mark. If you guys ever get a chance to help me out, my YouTube is pinned to the top of my Twitter X page. Just every so often give it a retweet. Tell your friends if you enjoy my content. Obviously, to hit that like and subscribe button, make sure you hit the notification bell. So it gives you the reminder that I'm live. And you'll know when I'm live every single night. So last announcement, obviously, I've already said this several times, but as we get closer and closer to April starting April 26th at 11:30 p.m. Eastern Time, I will be covering Season 3 of LFG. That will be the first episode. It's the week after WrestleMania. So I will be starting up an LFG show on late Sunday nights. No, Scoops is not going anywhere. But it'll just be an extra show on Sunday. Also, I will not be doing a Sunday night Scoops on WrestleMania Sunday. So you guys, because I'm going to be doing a night 2 recap when night 2 goes off. So there will not be a Sunday Scoops on was it the 19th of April 19th. There will not be a Sunday Scoops that day. So that's the only day that Sunday Scoop. As of now, that will not be. I will not be going live for that. Trying to get some people on here. I don't know where everybody is. I think there's another space or something going on, but yeah, NXT is gonna be great tomorrow. 3 title matches. JC. A lot of stuff I talked about covered on Scoop yesterday about Kendall Gray. I clipped it, so we'll see. I still have a feeling, like I said, I think JC's gonna face Kendall Gray and Stand and Deliver. I don't think Sol and Zarya need the title, but we'll see how it turns out tomorrow. I'm looking forward to a triple threat match with JC James, Ulruka, and Zarya, and then the NXT Women's North American Championship. Izzy Dame challenges Tatum Paxley in a steel cage. And then the Women's NXT Speed Championship, Fallon Henley is going to defend against Ren Sinclair in QCC. So looking forward to that. Obviously, the tag team tournament kicks off too with the Birthright going up against, I believe it's Hank and Tank. So to see who's going to face Vanity Project at Stand and Deliver. So, all right, so let's get started, guys. Tonight, the Raw is from the Frost Bank Center, the home of the San Antonio Spurs in San Antonio, Texas. Tonight, we're going to see the first time in years and years WWE Women's Intercontinental Champion AJ Lee defend her title against Bayley. Plus, WWE Women's World Champion La Primera Stephanie Bacour faced the Judgment Day Big Mommy Cool Raquel Rodriguez in a non-title match. Also, Penta Open Challenge, obviously. Brock Lesnar's advertised, as well as the original El Grande Americano versus Los Americanos El Grande Americano. Alpha Academy's Maxine Dupree, which I don't think she'll be Alpha Academy much longer, doesn't look like it, versus Natty. I definitely hope they're done with that feud. We were supposed to hear from Dirty Dom, but obviously he's they said he's out. I'm sure he'll be back before WrestleMania, hopefully. The Judgment Day, obviously we heard a good promo from Finn Balor. I mean, not Finn Balor, Liv Morgan. Finn Balor wasn't on the show tonight. JD McDonough, Liv Morgan. And then obviously the Beast Incarnate. The big almost swerve shock factor at the beginning of the show. And then obviously the OTC Roman Reigns returns. So the show opens up with Michael Cole and Corey Graves welcome us as we see WWE World Heavyweight Champion CM Punk and his wife, WWE Women's Intercontinental Champion AJ Lee, arrive together. Michael Cole says AJ Lee will defend the title against Bayley tonight. Maxine Dupree then arrives with Akira Tozawa and Otis. She will face Natty. The Judgment Day is then shown celebrating in their clubhouse. They then took Finn Balor's merchandise away. Women's World Champion Stephanie Bakor is then shown arriving at the Frost Bank Center. They take a look back at Randy Orton's betrayal of American Nightmare Undisputed SmackDown Champion Cody Rhodes. Randy Orton was actually on Raw tonight. Did a backstage segment, was on the phone with someone. Gonna send Twitter into a frenzy trying to figure out who it is. It makes sense to bring somebody that was close to them. I mean, it could be a Batista. I don't know. I'm just throwing out names. I haven't checked on any information. I obviously don't know who it is. But it's got to be somebody with some family ties. He said something to, it had something to do with wrestling has more than one royal family, which is Cody's beginning of this song. And so talk to somebody that made it realize who he was. I mean, could be Aleister Black. Aleister's been in his ear for a few weeks. I have no idea yet. Honestly, I haven't had time to even process all that. But we started off with the mystery mask man. It was a lot of them. They make their way down to ringside, and the visionary himself, Seth Rollins, reveals himself. Seth says he wants to make this perfectly clear. Seth then says he created the vision and he will be the one to kill it. Seth then says he doesn't care if you're on the shelf like Braun Breaker or Bronson Reed. Seth then says he does not care if you're a pawn like Austin Theory or Logan Paul. Seth then says if you stand by Paul Heyman, consider yourself marked for death. Seth then says 2 weeks ago he had the satisfaction of putting a steel chair into Paul Heyman's back. Seth then says he had the satisfaction of stomping Paul Heyman's fat head into the mat. So then Paul Heyman comes out, his eyes all puffy. It just looks really. They did whatever job they did to him backstage with the makeup. They did a really good job making that look really believable. He makes his way out onto the ring top. Yeah, I mean, could be Shane McMahon. You never know. I think this one's going to be a tough one to figure out. It's got to be somebody that's tied close with the that has something to do with Cody and Randy. Whether it goes back to like the faction or it's definitely got to be family. It's something family oriented, so it's going to be interesting. Definitely an interesting dynamic brought to that story. Now, Randy's advertised for SmackDown. They didn't say anything about Cody, so I would think Cody shows up. It was close to WrestleMania, but we'll see. I mean, he took a beating last week, so Shane McMahon. Yeah, I mean, a lot of theories out there. I don't know. I have no idea at this point. Paul Heyman makes his way onto the stage. Seth then says Paul thinks he's smarter than him. Seth then says the people will say it for him, and the fans are chanting F you to Paul Heyman. They're chanting F you Heyman. Seth then asks Paul if he can move a little faster or if he has something he wants to say. Seth then says he hopes it was worth it for him. Seth then says he made a lot of mistakes. Seth then says letting Paul into his inner circle was the worst one he made. Seth then says he will pay Paul back for his betrayal until you're gone from the business. Seth then says he will cut Paul out like the cancer he is. Paul then says he wasn't going to come out, but he wouldn't miss this for the world. Paul then asked if he interrupted Seth's hateful promo. Paul then said he is doing it because he is effing with Seth, because Seth is effing with him. paused and said F-A-F-O, F-A-F-O, F-A-F-5. And at that point, I was like, oh shit, they're doing Seth Brock. Brock Lesnar's music hit, loud, huge pop. Obviously, I knew Brock was opening up, but I was like, oh shit. Brock Lesnar makes his way down to the ring. The Masked Man then show up around Seth. Brock goes to enter the ring. Brock then walks around the ring. He clotheslines and starts German suplexing all of the Masked Man. Brock then hits one with the overhead belly-to-belly suplex. Brock then screams and scares some more away. There are 3 men in the ring with Seth, and they go after Brock, and Brock pushes them away. Brock hits one with the German suplex and hits an F5 on the other one, and then another German suplex, and then it's just Brock and Seth in the ring. And when it comes that point in time where it's just them in the ring, the lights go out, and I'm like, holy shit, what do we got going on here? So the lights go out and we get Wwe Femi's music hits, and the crowd goes absolutely bonkers chanting Wwe. Wwe struts to the ring. The Wwe ruler makes his way down to the ring. Brock looks around until Wwe gets in the ring. Seth then stands in the corner to watch. Wwe then enters the ring and he moves towards Brock. Brock smiles. Then they go face to face. Seth moves toward the center of the ring. Brock then backs Seth away. And Brock turns into Wwe Femi, hits him with a huge power bomb. And then Wwe Femi puts one foot. He looks at points at the WrestleMania sign, looks at the WrestleMania sign, and puts one foot on Brock Lesnar's chest. And it is official at WrestleMania. It looks to be. I'd have to go back and look at the graphics. Maybe night 1, night 2. I'm not sure yet. Wwe Femi going 1-on-1 with Brock Lesnar. So that puts all of the Brock. They're putting all of the Brock Lesnar, who's going to face Brock at WrestleMania. Speculation and rumors. They ended all of that tonight. That was the absolutely right call. WWE. Triple H, TKO made the right call there. It didn't need to be LA Knight. It didn't need to be Seth. Nobody wanted to see that. They've been hyping Wwe up. You know, they put him nothing but squash matches. And I mean, he may beat Brock in a squash. I mean, Brock doesn't like to go very long in the ring anyway. I fully expect Brock to put Wwe over. It's time for this younger generation that the WWE spending all this time hyping up to actually be put over. So looking forward to that. Wwe Femi, Brock Lesnar is official for WrestleMania 42 in Vegas. We then take a look back at the end of last week's Raw. Michael Cole then hypes up Roman Reigns' appearance and says, in just a little bit, Michael Cole and Corey Graves then both speak about how they couldn't believe what Wwe Femi just did to Brock Lesnar. They then switched to footage of El Grande Americano winning the AAA Rey de Reyes after Bravo and Rayo attacked the original El Grande Americano. Cole then hypes the Americano versus Americano match coming up next. So Los Americanos make their way down to the ring for the first match of the night, and the original El Grande Americano follows 1-on-1. Hopefully this all ends at WrestleMania with the mask versus mask so they can get away from this. The match starts off with the original Americano hitting a rolling kick and some chops. Original Americano is then put on the turnbuckles, and original Americano gets an armbar in the ropes. Apollo Crews did that gimmick a lot better. Which gimmick? El Grande Americano versus El Grande Americano 6.75. Yeah, wasn't one of them. That hopefully they do a mask versus mask at WrestleMania and gets the feud out of the way. Grande then hits a dropkick to Original Americano when Raya and Bravo distract him. Grande then sends Original into the ring post, shoulder first, and Grande hits a dropkick. Grande then hits a reverse gut wrench for a 2 count. Grande then hits an elbow in the corner, but Original Americano hits a belly to back suplex. Original Americano then hits a dragon screw. Grande then hits a forearm from the apron, and he goes for a slingshot move, but Original Americano catches Grande and hits a Northern Light suplex for a 2 count. They exchange chops and forearms and punches. Original then hits him with an overhead belly-to-belly suplex over the top rope onto Bravo and Rayo. They return to the ring, but Grande goes to the floor again. Original Americano then sends Grande into the ring post and delivers a chop. Grande then hits a DDT for a count of 2. Grande then hits a Irish whip and he blocks a boot from Original Americano. Grande then punches Original and chokes him in the ropes. Grande then hits a short arm clothesline for a near fall. Grande then applies a rear chin lock. Original Americano then gets an inside cradle for a count of 2. Grande then hits a kick to the head, goes for the pin, and gets a count of 2. Original Americano then delivers a kick, chops Grande. Grande goes for the mask, and Grande turns it into a delayed vertical suplex for only a count of 2. Grande then hits a chop and an Irish whip that sends Original Americano sternum first into the turnbuckles. Original Americano then escapes a suplex and gives Grande a suplex. Original then hits a series of strikes and a side Russian leg sweep. Original Americano then hits a rolling kick to the back followed by a German suplex. He then holds on and hits a second one. Original Americano then goes for a third one, but Grande blocks it. Original Americano then hits an exploder. Grande then sends Original Americano to the apron, and he hits a cannonball to Riot. Original Americano then kicks Bravo off the apron, and then Original Americano then hits the Olympic Slam, Kurt Angle's move, for a 2 count. Grande then blocks a Chaos Theory, and he kicks Original Americano. Original Americano delivers a forearm. Grande hits a kick and a suplex for a count of 2. Grande then charges at Original Americano, and Original Americano hits an overhead belly-to-belly suplex into the turnbuckles. Grande then stops Original Americano on a moonsault, but Original Americano applies an ankle lock. Grande gets to the ropes. Original Americano then hits Chaos Theory, but Rayo distracts the referee. Original Americano then brings Rayo into the ring and hits a powerful clothesline. Bravo then puts the piece of metal into Grande's mask. Original Americano then sends Rayo over the ringside barrier. Original Americano then hits a diving headbutt off the turnbuckles, but Original Americano knocks himself out due to the piece of metal in the mask. Grande then gets the victory. That was wild right there. The winner of the singles match is Los Americanos El Grande Americano. Sure, they're going to settle this once and for all, WrestleMania, in a mask versus mask match. I'm still wondering what gimmick you're talking about, Unknown Force. Maybe are you talking about the OVA thing? So then a vehicle arrives at the building, and out of the back is the OTC one himself, Roman Reigns. Jimmy and Jey Uso are in the back to beat him, and they are all in a good mood. Roman tells them they did the right thing. Roman then says, when you run your mouth, there are consequences. Roman then tells them you should be offended about what Punk said about his father. Roman tells the family that they have up until WrestleMania to do whatever they want to do to Punk, but at WrestleMania, it belongs to Roman. Oh, he said you can do whatever you want to do to Punk before and after WrestleMania, but on WrestleMania Sunday, main event Sunday, CM Punk belongs to Roman Reigns. So then out comes Danhausen. This guy's great. He's doing excellent stuff. I I mean, he's the #1 merch seller right now. It's just crazy. He makes his way to the stage. He says that he has a treat for everyone, but he left it in the back. Danhausen then says this week he has a t-shirt gun. Danhausen then says he has an automatic t-shirt gun. It's the Cannonhausen. Everything has housing at the end of it. I love it. I love what they're doing with Danhausen. Good stuff. We then take a look back at what happened with the Judgment Day last week when they turned on Finn Balor. And then we get a really, really fiery, deep, dark, great, for me, it was a great promo from Liv Morgan. She was obviously with Dom not there, she was the one. Well, I mean, I don't know. I think her promo might have been better. Well, I don't know. Liv Morgan cuts a promo. She tells Finn that she is going to let him in on a secret. Liv says this was her plan since joining Judgment Day. Liv then says you were always on borrowed time. Liv then says she put up with him because of his relationship with Dominic. Liv then says she knows when Finn is lying and scheming. Liv then says it has been a pleasure watching you fall from grace. Liv then says you couldn't hang with them again. Liv then says you got soft. Liv then says she got sick calling him family. Liv then says she took a page out of Finn's playbook because it is the Judgment Day's way. Liv then says JD will soar now in the singles division without you holding him down. Liv then says Dominic will get back the Intercontinental Championship. Liv then says there is no king on the throne now. There's a new king on the throne. Liv then says Raquel is the future champion and she will take care of Stephanie McMahon tonight. Liv then says she will walk out of WrestleMania as the Women's World Heavyweight Champion. Liv then says the family. She tells Stephanie the family that Stephanie says she hides behind her is stronger without Finn. So Liv Morgan reveals this was her plan all along. Good promo from Liv Morgan tonight. We then take a look at what happened between Dominic Mysterio and El Hijo del Vikingo at AAA over the weekend. If you guys didn't catch it, it was a banger. On the match, Dominic Mysterio retained the AAA championship. They showed the match. It was like no DQ. It's good. I didn't personally see the matchup. I just saw clips of it, but it looked like it was really good. We then head to the back where Jey Uso wants to know why Roman isn't dropping Punk right now in his tracks. Jimmy then says there's a time and a place, and he punched CM Punk last week. He then talks about, he says all Punk has to say is that you're a part-timer. Roman then asks how long was their dad on the road? Do they remember? Roman then says it would be different for his children. He said he wants his legacy to be known, or that there's not a bigger flex than being a full-time father. He then says everyone can call him a part-timer, but his family is his legacy. That was good stuff there. Love hearing that. Jimmy then agrees, and Jay says CM Punk doesn't know the truth. He then says Punk owes them an apology. Roman then says at the end of the day, he doesn't need an apology, but you do. He then says he will get it for the family tonight. He then says Punk. He then says, what's the worst thing can happen? Is he going to beat me up? So it looks like we got the OG bloodline back together again. So we go get ready for the next matchup of the night, and it's for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. And obviously at the end, it's setting up the WrestleMania match, which more than likely is going to be one of the 4 or 5 matches that's going to be part of WrestleMania with a stipulation. AJ Lee and Becky Lynch, obviously at WrestleMania. But tonight it's AJ Lee going one-on-one versus Bayley for the Intercontinental Championship. Both are very popular. And AJ looked pretty good in the ring tonight. It was a good match. The match starts off with both women locking up. Both women lock up again, and Bayley backs AJ into the ropes. AJ then goes for a side Russian leg sweep, but Bayley blocks it. AJ then hits a leg scissors takedown. AJ then goes for a couple of roll-ups and gets a couple of near falls. AJ then hits a sunset flip for a count of 2. AJ then escapes a slam, and Bailey escapes and gets a near fall with a low match straw. Bailey then misses a baseball slide, and AJ goes up top and hits a cross body. AJ then drop kicks Bailey to the floor, and AJ gets a roll up for a count of 2. AJ Lee then works on the R and applies a hammerlock. She floats over into a bridge. Bailey tries to escape, but AJ holds on to the hammerlock. Bailey then hits a back elbow to escape. Bailey then sends AJ to the apron, and she hits a cutter in the ropes and then goes for the pinfall for a count of 2. Bailey then sends AJ back into the ring, and she gets a count of 2. AJ applies an armbar. AJ fights back with some arm drags, and she transitions into an armbar of her own. Bailey fights back with the knee to the midsection. Bailey then hits a forearm and a suplex for a count of 2. AJ delivers some forearms, and Bailey hits a knee. Stampede said AJ Lee rushed Bailey 7.15. Yeah, it wasn't bad. Wasn't bad at all. AJ looked a lot better than she's getting a lot of that rust off for sure. Bailey then hits a hard Irish whip. Bailey then hits a kick to the back, and she kicks AJ in the corner. Bailey goes for another pinfall, but AJ kicks out, and she applies a reverse chin lock. Bailey then hits an Irish whip, but AJ delivers a clothesline out of the corner. Bailey then goes for a suplex, but AJ adjusts her position and counters with a lateral press. AJ then hits a bulldog, hits a clothesline, and a back elbow. AJ then delivers a spinning heel kick and goes for the pin, but Bailey kicks out at 2. Then AJ then delivers an aside DDT for the count of 2. AJ then goes for the Shining Wizard, but Bailey counters with a maple leaf. Bailey then hits a running knee, but AJ kicks out at 2. AJ then goes for a quick roll up. Bailey kicks out at 2. AJ then escapes the belly-to-belly suplex. Bailey then pulls AJ off the turnbuckles, and she hits a belly-to-belly suplex for only a count of 2. Bailey is getting beside herself. Obviously, she goes outside. Michael Cole is talking about this is her last chance at WrestleMania, so she kind of goes into this kind of dark place for a minute. She comes in there and slaps AJ Lee. And then AJ slaps her back. They then slam each other's head into the mat, and they begin to throw punches. AJ then hits a back heel kick and a Shining Wizard. Bailey counters the Black Widow into a side slam. So AJ went for the finish of Black Widow right there. AJ then goes up top and sets up for the elbow drop, and she misses when AJ Lee rolls out of the way. AJ then returns to the Black Widow and finally applies the Black Widow to Bailey, and Bailey taps out. And your winner and still your WWE Women's Intercontinental Champion going to WrestleMania, AJ Lee, first successful title defense. So at that point, I was on commercial, and I was like, well, where the hell is Becky? Like, what are we doing with AJ at WrestleMania? And then they come back from commercial break. After the match, AJ offers a hand, and Bailey hugs her. AJ then raises Bailey's hand. Bailey leaves the ring. After the match, we see Becky Lynch with a brutal attack and beat down on AJ Lee. So, like I said, it's definitely setting up for AJ Lee, Becky Lynch. Was this going to be part 2 of the singles matches? Definitely going to be some sort of stipulation match. Becky hasn't beaten her before. She's 0-3, so see how it goes. If AJ is going to stick around, she may retain, but if not, they may put the belt back on Becky. We'll see how it goes. But they definitely set the match up for that. We then see Adam Pearce in the back with JD McDonough. Pearce says Dominic is not medically cleared. Penta then shows up and gestures with the Sierra Miedo. Thanks, Pearce. We then see AJ Lee celebrate her win with the fans. Like I said, with her back to the entrance, Becky Lynch attacks AJ and sends AJ into the LED board. Becky then sends AJ to the floor and kicks her in the back. Becky then sends AJ into the railing and she kicks AJ. Becky is finally escorted away from AJ and Becky has the Intercontinental Championship belt. Becky then returns the belt to AJ in her face. So we're definitely getting Becky and AJ for that Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania, which I also talked about on Scoops yesterday as well. We then take a look at the contract signing for the Undisputed WWE Championship match and Cody Rhodes getting destroyed last Friday by Randy Orton. So then Penta then makes his way down to the ring and says he has something to say before his match. Penta said last week he told the world that he wants to be a fighting champion. Penta then says he told Adam Pearce to pick anyone because he is always ready. Penta then says he is a champion of all his people. Penta then says whoever comes to the ring tonight be ready because he is Penta and he has Chihiro Yedo. Out comes the challenger for the Intercontinental Championship belt. Open challenge, and it is none other than El Luchador and Dragon Lee. For me, definitely match of the night as far as technical wrestling. It was a banger for sure. Hopefully, if they're going to do a multi-man match, obviously for Penta's title at WrestleMania, maybe a ladder match or something like that, hopefully they can put Dragon Lee. I'd love to see them put Dragon Lee in it. Javon Evans, definitely a good one, I would think. So Penta's defending against Dragon Lee. For me, is like I said, probably match of the night for one of them. Raquel and Stephanie was pretty good too. The match starts off with Dragon Lee offering his hand. Penta shakes it. Both men lock up. Penta gives a clean break. Both men lock up again, and Dragon Lee backs Penta into the turnbuckles and gives a clean break. Dragon Lee then applies a waist lock, and Penta gets a standing switch. Dragon Lee then gets a cover, and Penta gets a cover also, but goes for the pin and gets a count of 2. They then both get back to their feet. Penta then does his Penta strut, and Dragon Lee follows Penta. Dragon Lee then applies a side headlock. Penta then gets a reversal, and Penta kicks Dragon Lee when Lee tries to roll through. Lee then hits a boot when Penta charges into the corner. Lee then hits a head scissors and he hits a kick in the corner. Dragon Lee then hits a leg sweep and a slingshot drop kick from the apron. Dragon Lee is then sent into the turnbuckles and Penta hits a thrust kick and then delivers another kick to Penta. Penta then hits a hesitation handstand drop kick and then clothesline Dragon Lee over the top rope and to the floor. Dragon Lee then kicks Penta when Penta goes for a move on the floor. Dragon Lee then hits a flip dive, and it is Penta's turn. Penta then hits a crossbody and goes for the pin, but Dragon Lee kicks out at 2. Penta delivers a chop, then hits a sunset flip, but Dragon Lee does not go over, and he hits a double stomp. Dragon Lee goes for the pin, but Penta kicks out at 2. Dragon Lee then punches Penta, and Penta hits reverses the back body drop, goes for the pin, and gets a count of 2. Penta then hits a snapmare, and he stretches Dragon Lee. Penta then hits a knee to the chest. Penta delivers a kick, and Dragon Lee hits a head scissors takedown. Dragon then punches Penta. Dragon then hits a forearm, and Penta fires back. They both go back and forth, delivering chops and punches. Penta then hits a kick. Dragon Lee hits a running, jumping knee. Penta then hits a super kick. Penta versus Dragon Lee, 8-point. Yes, I agree. Match of the night for me. Love to see Dragon Lee get inserted in that multi-man match at WrestleMania. Penta then hits a kick. Penta then hits a super kick. Sorry, he signaled for the destroyer, but Dragon Lee hits a thrust kick. Dragon Lee then floats over and goes for a sunset flip, but he rolls through and tribute to his the man that just retired and going into the Hall of Fame in WrestleMania 42, AJ Styles. He hits the Styles Splash for a count of 2. Penta then catches Dragon Lee off the turnbuckles and hits a Penta driver for a count of 2. Dragon Lee then rolls to the apron and Penta gets back to his feet. Penta then sets up to suplex Lee back into the ring, but Lee blocks it. Penta then delivers some forearms. Dragon Lee then hits a kick from the apron, and Penta hits a kick when Dragon Lee goes for the springboard move. Penta then goes for a springboard move, but Dragon Lee hits a kick. Dragon Lee then hits a suicide dive that sends both men over the announce desk. Dragon Lee then sends Penta back into the ring, and he sets up for Operation Dragon, but he can only get a count of 2. Dragon Lee then misses the hidden blade, and Penta ends up hitting the Destroyer for the 1, 2, 3, and still your men's Intercontinental Champion goes Tierra Miedo Penta. Penta will be holding that title until that match with Vikingo happens at a to be determined date. You talking about Penta and Vikingo for the Intercontinental Championship belt or what? Yeah, I do think he's gonna hold on to the title for a while. Cause he had three shots at Dom before he won it. But yeah, I can't wait to see that. But tonight was a great match. Penta and Dragon Lee put on a clinic tonight. Winner, still the WWE Intercontinental Champion, is Penta. After the match, Penta helps Lee up. Lee raises Penta's hand. Penta then returns the favor and they shake hands. So we go backstage to the locker room. We see Paul Heyman in his locker room holding his back, really playing this injury up, stomping this chair shot from last week from Seth Rollins, and Austin Theory and Logan Paul show up. Theory says that Brock Lesnar will deal with Oba and they will take care of Seth. Paul then says that is the worst thing to do because he has tried to divide and conquer, which makes me think Braun is coming back because he steered him another way. He then says Seth hit him with a chair and there was no punishment because they have no leverage. He then says they need titles. They need power. He then says they need to go after the Uso tag titles and they can get some leverage. He then says he doesn't care what it takes as their focus has to be on the Usos. Austin then says he is going now. Logan then tells Paul if he wants them to win the tag titles from the Usos, consider it done. He then says that the Usos are now the ex-champions. Logan then says they are going to get LA Knight too, and he slapped Paul in the back, and obviously Paul's still hurting. So definitely setting up Logan Paul and Austin Theory versus the Usos. That's got to be the direction they're going at WrestleMania. Unless they're going to try to include LA Knight in it, make it a 6-man tag. I don't know. I don't know who the third guy would be for with Logan Paul and them though. So we get ready for our next matchup of the night. Maxine Dupree makes her way down to the ring, and she's going up against Natty. The match starts off with Natty hitting a double leg takedown, and she goes for a cover, but Maxine kicks out. Natty then hits another double leg takedown. The crowd, I almost want to say this, I love Maxine and Natty both personally, but the crowd was dead for this match. I mean, you could have heard a pin drop in there. Natty hits another double leg takedown. Natty then has something to say to Maxine. Natty then catapults Dupree into the middle rope. But I did see Maxine in the back after the match talking to Austin Theory. So something may be cooking up there. Will Maxine Dupree be joining the Vision? That's a story we can maybe see unfold later on down the road. Natty then has something to say to Dupree. Natty catapults Maxine into the middle rope and then puts Maxine in the tree of woe and she chokes her out. Natty then applies a rear naked choke and Dupree escapes the body scissors and she applies the ankle lock. Natty then goes for the ropes and she rolls through to send Dupree into the ropes. Dupree and Natty then both get near falls. Maxine then... Oh, okay. Perfect. Yeah, looking forward to that. I definitely don't want to miss that. That's going to be an absolute banger. Stampede today announced it Saturday. I didn't get to watch the show, so I just saw clips of certain of the Dominic match. Maxine and Natty then get near balls. Maxine hits a step over back heel kick. Maxine used her long legs to for an advantage tonight for sure. Maxine hits some clotheslines and a forearm to the back. Maxine hits a knee to the head. Dupree then hits a splash into the corner and a suplex. And then she pulls both of the straps down, aka Kurt Angle. And then delivers a suplex. Straps come down. Maxine hits a step up leg drop for a count of 2. Natty then gets Dupree tied up in the ropes. Dupree then gets Dupree reverses into a roll up, transitions into an ankle lock. But Natty kicks her away. Maxine then goes up top and Natty moves. Maxine Dupree then rolls through and Natty hits a discus clothesline, aka her, just like her daddy did. Natty then goes for a sharpshooter and Dupree tries to get to the ropes. Natty pulls her into the center of the ring, and after a short little fight, Maxine Dupree finally gives in and taps out, and Natty has won the match. And hopefully they don't run this match back again. I think this was, I didn't see your rating for this match, Stampede, but definitely, I mean, I love both of them, but I just, the crowd was even dead for this match. So yeah, I just wasn't really too hyped on it. Hopefully this is the end of that feud, but I'm sure they're gonna run it back again because they have to have something for both of them to do. We then see Michael Cole, and he said he was going to be interviewing Randy Orton, but Randy Orton is on the phone. And he said that everyone was watching SmackDown, and it is his time, and it is time. But he has to talk to Michael Cole. He then tells the person on the phone, "Oh wow, so you enjoyed Natty and Maxine?" I don't know, man. I think Maxine's getting a lot better, but I don't know. It just didn't really hit for me, man. I think Maxine's come a long ways, but I love Natty, but I mean, Natty can go with certain people, but I don't know. It just didn't really hit that for me. But I mean, hopefully they're done, but they're probably not. So Randy's on the phone with someone. He then tells that person on the phone that he appreciates it and he will see them soon. Who is it? Randy then stops Michael Cole and says, I told you I was going to do an interview, but I'm not. He says he changed his mind. Randy then says he will leave Michael Cole with this. Randy then says everyone has asked him. Randy then said he had a conversation with someone who had a brain, and it was something profound. Randy then says it was about his life, and he understood who he is and what he is. Randy then says he was told why he did what he did to Cody on Friday. Randy then says he is a killer. Randy then tells Michael Cole that wrestling has more than one royal family. Randy will be on SmackDown this Friday. Who was the person on the phone? AAA Mega Title No Disqualification Match. Dominic Mysterio versus El Hijo del Vikingo. 7 rating. Dang, I enjoyed it. I thought it was great. Like I said, I didn't see all of it, but from what I saw, it's pretty good. I gotta start watching AAA because I seen Bailey wrestle and all that. I missed a lot, seems like. And my phone is being a donkey again with all my notes. It does this. I don't know why it does this. Yeah, I know you watch it. I did catch the some of the AEW. Glad to see Ronda Rousey. I know she's hated by a lot of people, but I think if she's put in the right situation in AEW, then I think she's gonna do good. And I mean, you know, I'm not one of those people that goes against one. I don't watch AEW that much, but I probably will now that Ronda Rousey's in there for sure. Looks like she's gonna be a sticker. She probably won't be on much until, I mean, maybe a little bit unless she got the MMA fight coming up. But after that, hopefully. So we got to the back and we see Dragon Lee. He's still kind of wore out from his match with Penta, and Javon Evans comes over. He keeps popping him on his back, obviously. He's talking to him about his match, telling him about that move. He was hyping him up. And then out of nowhere, Kofi Kingston walks up. And obviously, this conversation started last week when Kofi was trying to recruit Javon Evans to the New Day. Kofi then asked if he could talk to Javon. Kofi then says, "You want to be the next face with WWE. You want title matches. You want to win all these titles." Kofi then tells Evans it is about who you associate with. He then says there are people who can lift you up, and there are some who can drag you down. Evans then refuses the offer. Grayson Waller then says he doesn't know what people see in Javon Evans. Kofi then says that others, not him, are saying the same thing about Grayson Waller, about what him and Xavier Woods see in Waller. And out of nowhere, man with the plan, the number one merch seller in WWE right now, Danhausen, shows up to Kofi and Grayson Waller and offers for an open spot in the New Day. He starts talking about the cereal, teeth, and all that. That was funny. I love Danhausen. They then he even starts doing the New Day dance, which is he's fucking hilarious. They then tell Danhausen they don't want him in the New Day. Danhausen then puts a curse on Grayson Waller. When Kofi pushes him in the front, we know who it's not, Dustin or Ronda. Oh, on the phone with Randy? Nah, it's definitely not Ronda. I mean, if it's Dustin, I would be completely blown away. That's Cody's brother, so I don't know. I don't. It's definitely not Dustin either. I mean, it could be a lot of people. I know people are saying Kevin Owens. I mean, I guess it could make sense. Like, he can't get physical. Like, he hasn't even started taking bumps yet. He's not supposed to be back until SummerSlam or at the earliest. I don't know. Like I said, I'm gonna try to find out before Sunday. But there's a lot of people that could be. I mean, it could be Aleister Black. It could be Ric Flair. I mean, they could show Randy Orton going to Ted DiBiase Jr.'s son's prison. Like, I mean, you just never know. I mean, it could be. I know his dad's old, but it could be his dad. It's about family. So I don't know. We'll see. Could be The Rock. I don't know what The Rock would have to be to do with Cody though. I think The Rock's going to be more invested with the Roman stuff. Triple A Reina's title match. Flammer versus Bailey 7.25. I didn't see that match. I saw that Flammer won, but I didn't see the match. I will have to go back and watch that though. But it looks like Bailey and Lyra are going to be going for the tag titles at WrestleMania. So Stephanie Bakor, La Primera, the women's WWE Raw Women's Champion, makes her way down to the ring for the main event of the night, followed by Raquel Rodriguez, Big Mommy Cool, and Liv Morgan. This is a non-title match. It's not the main event of the show, but it's the main event match of the night. Match starts off with both women locking up. And the reason why I said I think they're pivoting, because obviously Asuka did the backstage interview with her and Kyrie, and that they told Bailey they were going to be going for the tag titles too. And we've seen Io get involved in this match tonight. So it looks like they have, for what it looks like to me, it looks like they have gotten away from the Asuka Io. Maybe they are going to do Io and Raquel, because maybe they want to put Raquel on the card. Because she'd earned it. I mean, she's done a hell of a job. So I wouldn't be mad at it. I mean, I don't. Maybe they put on a banger. I don't know. See what happens in the coming weeks. But Io getting the ball was kind of random. So this close to WrestleMania, like I feel like they would have had some sort of segment with Asuka and Io and all them tonight if that's the direction they were going, but they didn't have anything. So the match starts off with both women locking up, and Raquel gives a break. Raquel then hits some shoulders in the corner and hits an Irish whip, but Bakor avoids her in the corner, and Raquel hits a shoulder tackle. Stephanie then gets a near fall. Raquel hits a clothesline, and she applies a top wrist lock. Stephanie Bakor then hits some punches, and Raquel misses an elbow drop. Stephanie then hits a leg drop for a count of 2. Raquel then blocks a head scissor takedown, but Stephanie escapes. Stephanie then drop kicks Raquel to the floor. Stephanie Bakor then goes to the apron, and she has a springboard knee drop on the apron. Raquel then blocks a back heel kick, and Raquel picks Stephanie Bakor up and long darts her into the ring post, using that power. Raquel then sends Stephanie Bakor's head into the announce desk a few times. Raquel then kicks Stephanie Bakor in the corner and then sets up for delayed vertical suplex, but Bakor lands on her feet. Raquel then hits a clothesline for a count of 2. Raquel then hits an elbow drop and goes for the pin and gets another near fall for a count of 2. Stephanie Bakor then delivers some forearms, but Raquel hits a clothesline for a count of 2. Raquel then applies a double wrist lock. Stephanie Bakor then applies a sleeper, but Raquel backs Bakor into the corner, and Raquel hits some vicious elbows. Stephanie then drops Raquel on the top rope. She delivers a big kick. Bakor then hits a cross-body on Raquel, but Stephanie then hits a forearm, but she misses the big splash into the corner. It looks like Alistair taking over the carrying cross role with Sami Zayn based on what I've seen Friday. Yeah, definitely him and Zelina have switched places with Karrion Kross and Scarlett. But you got to remember, Alistair was saying that same stuff to Randy before Randy won the chamber. And ultimately, Randy turned heel. So, I mean, I don't know who it is. I'm not going to sit there. I mean, I don't. Raquel misses a big boot in the corner. Stephanie Bakor hits a dragon screw. Stephanie then hits a running double knee strike. Raquel then blocks the guillotine and turns it into a reverse suplex. Raquel then misses a twisted Vader bomb, elbow drop. Bakor then delivers everybody's favorite, especially Booker T, which tomorrow night on NXT is going to be Booker T night, Houston, Texas. The Devil's Kiss. Liv Morgan then gets up on the apron, and Bakor swings at her. Raquel then delivers an elbow, and out comes Io Sky. She makes her way down to the ring, and she goes running after Liv. But Raquel then picks up Io and throws her over the announce desk, and she is out. So that could be setting up Raquel Io. Bakor then hits a crossbody to Raquel, and she gives Liv a thrust kick and sends her into the timekeeper's area. So Stephanie Bakor, she takes a quick glance up at the WrestleMania sign after she kicked Liv over the timekeeper's area. Stephanie Bakor then goes up top. Raquel catches a crossbody attempt. Raquel catches a crossbody attempt. Raquel then hits a twisted power slam, and she goes for a Tejana bomb. But Stephanie Bakor counters with a roll up for the 1, 2, 3. Wasn't for the title, but the WWE Women's Raw Champion gets the momentum heading into WrestleMania. It looks like night 1. I don't know yet for sure, but just they're making the posters different colors. So Stephanie Bakor, Raquel Rodriguez 8. Yeah, great match. I mean, it does look like they're going Raquel Io, so So then we go to the back and we see Lyra Valkyria. She said Bailey was amazing, and Bailey asked what was amazing about that match. Lyra then says she wants to go to WrestleMania. Bailey will get there, and they will do it together. Asuka and Kairi Sane then show up, and Asuka asks how they could ruin her shot at the Intercontinental title. She then says she would have beaten AJ Lee if it wasn't for them. She then says you cost her the title. Asuka then stops Kairi from talking, setting up that angle. Eventually, Kairi not turning, but getting enough of her crap. Kairi then tells them to stay away from them, and Asuka screams at Kairi. And apparently, Asuka said in Japanese that they're going after the tag titles too. Bailey then says Asuka and Kairi are also going after the tag titles. So if that's the case, then they definitely are pivoted and getting away from Asuka and Io. Maybe they're going to do Raquel and Io one-on-one. Bailey then says maybe they should go after the tag titles too. So if they put all those teams in there, it would be Lash Legend, Nia Jax defending against Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, the Bella Twins, Bailey and Lyra, and Asuka and Kairi Sane. That'd be crazy. It is announced as it is official for WrestleMania, Brock Lesnar versus Oba Femi. And that next week on Raw, Brock Lesnar will be there, and the Usos will face Logan Paul and Austin Theory. That's next week on Raw. Well, Brock Lesnar will be on Raw, obviously, to talk about Oba Femi and the match coming up at WrestleMania. And the Usos will face Logan Paul and Austin Theory in a non-title match. I like the in-depth detail on every segment. Appreciate that. We then see Jimmy and Jay walk in the back, and LA Knight stops them. He says the Vision had their names in their mouth, and he didn't like it. He then says they have business with the Vision. He cannot help but notice that you're getting a bit cozy with Roman. Jimmy and Jay says it is family business, and they tell him to mind his own business. LA Knight then says no. I thought I had a comment, sorry. He then says if the old bloodline comes back, they cannot be on the same page. So yeah, he's starting to notice. So then we get to the closing segment of the night, which everybody knew would be, is the OTC1 himself, Roman Reigns, makes his way down to the ring. Huge pop from the crowd as always. Roman is the guy. So you could hear the fans chanting the Roman Reigns, like they did when they were overseas. Roman then grabs the mic and says, San Antonio, acknowledge me. Roman then says he knows they hear that in the back. Roman then says they understand whose show it is. Roman then says at the end of the day, he is in the beginning, the middle, and you know who ends the show. Roman then says you gotta forgive him, but Phil gets confused. Roman loves to call CM Punk by his government name. Roman then says they're in the main event, and this is Monday. Roman then says Punk thinks this is his show. Roman then says don't listen to that. Roman then says the water is warm, and he tells CM Punk, come on out to talk some business. And he waits for a minute or so, and we get the music of CM Punk, and out comes the WWE Raw Heavyweight Champion, best in the world. CM Punk makes his way down to the ring. He takes his sweet ass time getting down there. I mean, he stands up on the announce desk. He does everything. He's really trying to get in Roman's head. Punk then said he welcomed Punk to his main event. Roman said welcome Punk to his main event. Punk then says about that. Punk then says, do you like to use my government name like it is supposed to be an insult? Punk then says his friends and family are allowed to call him Phil. You're not. Pivot Mania. Yeah, it is 100% Pivot Mania. Fucking 15 different rewrites since October. It's crazy. Yeah, I mean, it's just so hard to predict because they're changing shit by the week, it seems like. But over Brock apparently was planned back in like late January, early February. So I'm glad they stuck with that. Punk then says that maybe he could call him by his name, but he doesn't read his Wikipedia page. I think he called him like Tiki Tack or something like that. Or I don't remember what he said. Punk then says he isn't going to call him Joe because he is a Samoan that he respects and loves, which that was a reference to AEW Samoa Joe. Roman then tells Punk to call Joe so he can ask him who the real tribal chief is. Punk then asks Roman if all the Samoans are gonna come after him. Roman then says they can do what they want to do, but he said they could do what they want to do before WrestleMania and after, but not the day of. He's not sticking anybody after them. Punk then says they will be high-fiving him like the people of San Antonio did. Punk then says he is a little surprised that Roman hasn't taken a swing at him yet. Punk then says he knows he won already because he is in Roman Reigns' head. Roman then says he would expect Punk to think that because he is on everyone's mind. He then says all of the time. He then says you would just say anything. Roman then says Phil hasn't main evented anything this year. He then says he couldn't even main event a live event tour in Europe, much less headline or main event WrestleMania. He then tells Punk to say something special. Punk then says he was calling for Roman last week, but Roman was too chicken shit to show up, and he sent out his cousins. He then says he didn't want Jimmy and Jay in the crosshairs, and they did what they had to do. He then says he got what he deserved. He then says right message, wrong messenger, talking about should have came from Roman himself. He then says who is the real tribal chief around here. Roman then asks if this is what you guys love, this is what you guys cheer for. He then says we have heard this for the last 5 years. He then says you are redundant with the same shit. He then says maybe you should ask the real money makers like your wife. That was a good shot right there. He then tells Phil not to waste his time. Roman then tries to leave the ring and Punk stops him. Punk then says it is his ring, his title, and his belt. He then says he tells you when he comes and goes. He then says he tells the young boy, he calls it Roman a young boy. He says he tells the young boy it is not your time to go yet. Punk then says he can feel it, see it. He then says he is under your skin. He then says this is the last time you will main event WrestleMania, and he's gonna put Roman on his shoulders, and the Punkamaniacs, which I don't know why he said that, will be chanting his name while he drives you into his knee and splits your ego in two and beats you on the grandest stage of them all. Roman then says he didn't want to go here because there is so much history. He then says you are delusional. He then says you are great on the mic and with the mental games. He then says you cannot face him. He then says he is the greatest Punk has ever faced. He then says you are not faster, stronger, or better looking than him. He then says you can't do anything better than him in the ring. He then says you are nothing to him. He then says that title is an absolute embarrassment with you being the champion. He then says you are a tryhard and you are old. And Punk then delivers a roundhouse punch to Roman Reigns. Roman goes down, but Roman's still talking shit while he's down. Roman was not phased, and the officials walked into the ring. Come out and hold Punk back. Roman then smiles at Punk, and he tells Mind Games, come on, as he starts to rub his temple. And we are on the road to the main event, night 2. Roman stares him down before officials escort CM Punk to the back, and the show comes to a close. So that is it, guys, for the Raw recap. I'm gonna give the show overall probably about an 8.5. The pivot shit, I'm not really cool with all that. Like, they change the shit up every week. But there was some good matches tonight. Stephanie and Raquel was a good match. Dragon Lee and Penta was a good match. AJ and Bailey delivered, I feel like. I love what AJ and Bailey did tonight. They definitely start off the show wild, look like they're pivoting to Seth, and then Oba comes out. So I'm glad WWE made the right decision there. We're doing Oba, Femi, and Brock at WrestleMania. And get to see Oba, Femi go over there. And they have definitely set up something with AJ Lee and Becky Lynch for a stipulation match at WrestleMania for that Intercontinental Championship. But shout out to everyone that came in to listen tonight. The 129 people that's either watching on my YouTube, my X, or on my Amy's X. Shout out to everyone from DWE, the CEO, the head of the table himself, Miami the Great, who will be live tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern for Inside the Mind. Make sure you tune in to that. The Unseen Blinghausen, I'm not sure if she still has that on into her name, but one half of Talk It Up Wrestling Podcast. Make sure you give them a follow on X and give them a subscription as well on YouTube. Also, DWE Reg on World of Greg and After Sun Podcast. Make sure you give him a follow on X and a subscription on YouTube. Everyone affiliated with Gimmick Table Media as well. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my outro, and I will be back to tell you guys. I'll go over the announcements one more time, tell you guys where you can find me on my socials and what I have coming up for you guys for the rest of the week.
Wrestling has more than one royal family.
There are a lot of podcasts out there, but only one with this kind of energy.
Welcome to EVP Show Recap Prediction Sports. Let go, Show Recap Prediction Sports
In one podcast.
Welcome to EVP Show Recap Prediction Sports. Let go.
All right, guys. Like I said, shout out to you guys, 128 viewers, and I'm watching the Wwe Raw Recap Show on the EVP Show channel. Next week on Raw, obviously Brock Lesnar is advertised. The Usos will go in a non-title match against the Visions, Logan Paul and Austin Theory. They're going to be in Boston. I'm sure you're going to probably see Becky Lynch and AJ Lee. Probably get more clarity on that Intercontinental Championship match next week. I don't think anyone's going to be added to that. I think it's simply going to be one-on-one. That's what I've been saying this whole time. I said they're going to add anybody. It would have been if Bailey came and interfered tonight, they would have added Bailey into it. But it's the right call again to run them back and let. I think if they are going to run it back, but I think maybe Becky wins this time. She hasn't beaten AJ before, so we'll know more about how long AJ is planning to stick around. As far as announcements goes, April 26th at 11:30 p.m. Eastern Time will be a new show coming to the EVP Show channel and DW Network, LFG Season 3. Make sure you guys be on the lookout for that. It will start April 26th, which is on a Sunday, 11:30 p.m. Eastern, every Sunday until LFG is done, which is about between 8 to 10 weeks, something like that. I'll still be doing Sunday Scoops on Sunday. It'll just be an extra show. It'd be like a 5.5 hour break or 4 or 5 hour break in between shows. I will not be doing Sunday Scoops on WrestleMania Sunday. So if you guys are wanting to ask any type of question before WrestleMania, make sure you tune in the next few Sunday Scoops up until WrestleMania, because I will not be doing one WrestleMania Sunday. Also, I have put a tweet out. It's been out for about a week or so now. I have, I believe, 3 or 4 spots remaining for the NXT Stand and Deliver prediction show, which will be April the 1st at 7 p.m. Eastern. And I have 4 spots remaining on the prediction show panel for the WrestleMania prediction show, which will be covering night 1 and night 2. And I'll also be recapping the Stand and Deliver PLE, and I'll be recapping each night of WrestleMania as well. But if you guys haven't been on YouTube, want to get your voice heard, haven't been on the EVP show before, make sure you reach out. Either comment on the post. I'll try to get it back up to the top. I have a lot of tweets, but obviously I have to put my shorts out tonight. But I'll try to get it back up there to the top. If you don't want to comment on it, you can just simply send me a DM. I try to consistently check them as much as possible in case I miss a message. But there are openings, so standing delivered is getting pretty close. We're about a little over 2 weeks away. So definitely want to get as many people in there for that as we can. As that will be April 1st at 7 p.m. Eastern, and WrestleMania prediction show will be April the 15th at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So make sure if you guys haven't been on YouTube before and you've always wanted to come on YouTube and want to make these are the 2 biggest PLEs of the year for NXT and WWE. So make sure you hit that comment button. Step out from behind the mic and come on screen and let your voice be heard. It's your opportunity time to shine. Going to be some great people on the panel. Look forward to both shows. So as far as my socials, my link is obviously in my bio, but you can see it scrolling across the bottom of the screen in the blue. If you're not following me on X, you can find me on X at EVPCJP. Instagram, same handle at EVPCJP. Also, if you're looking for me on TikTok, it's at Brady the Goat 21. At Brady DA Goat 21. Last but not least, most importantly, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you're not already subscribed, tell your friends about it. Like I said, it is pinned up at the top of my X. If you go to my X page, if you follow me, it's all the way up at the top. Got about 160,000 views or something like that. Make sure you guys, if you're looking for it, you just can't find it on YouTube. It's pinned at the top of my X page. But if you are looking for it on YouTube, you just go to that search bar and type in at the EVP show. There's so many different shorts and lives because I stream about 5 days a week. On PLE weeks, it's 7 days a week. So make sure you guys, if you guys go back and watch the stream from the beginning tonight, make sure to hit that like button. That helps me, my channel and the algorithm and all that, all the comments from YouTube as well. So make sure you guys do that. Thank you so much. Shout out, there is the Unseen Bling House. I thought I seen a comment earlier. Shout out to Unseen Bling House on GWE Podcast. Make sure you give her a follow on X and Talk It Up Wrestling Podcast. One half of Talk It Up Wrestling Podcast and DWE Radio. Also, Miami will be live tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern for Inside the Mind with Miami, catching you up on all the football news. So don't miss that. Shout out to Stampede as well. Stampede will be a part of the Stand and Deliver and the WrestleMania prediction show. Look forward. Thanks, Stampede. Coming in. Comment on YouTube. Comments on YouTube help out a lot too. But make sure you guys, if you did watch the post, make sure you guys spam the likes on the stream tonight. Shout out to Alexa Sherman. Good to see you. Shout out to my boy Raymond, which will be he will be on the Stand and Deliver prediction show, but he will be doing it from the comment section. Doesn't want to come on camera, and that's totally okay. And that will be on his birthday. So happy birthday coming up to Raymond. Shout out to Alexis again, and Raymond, and Unknown Force 88. Don't know who that is, but shout out to Unknown Force 88. All right, guys, that is it for me, guys. So what I have coming up for the rest of the week, like I said, you can catch the CEO, the head of the table of DWE tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Miami, as he covers Inside the Mind, NFL news, all the stuff that's broke down in the NFL. You don't want to miss that. Good show every week, Tuesday and Thursdays at 6 p.m. Eastern. I will be back live tomorrow night at 10:30 p.m. Eastern. It is Title Tuesday in Houston, Texas, as JC Jane defends the Women's NXT Championship against Sol Ruka and Zarya. And also, Fallon Henley defends the Speed title against Ren Sinclair. And Tatum Paxley gets her first title defense for the Women's North American Championship against Izzy Dame in a steel cage match. So catch me live, set that reminder notification bell, catch me live at 10:30 p.m. Eastern tomorrow for your NXT recap. I am off Wednesday, and I will be back live Thursday night at 11:30 p.m. Eastern for your episode 5 or 6, I believe it's 5, of your TNA recap show. That's Thursday, 11:30 p.m. Eastern for the TNA recap show. Friday night, we're still on the road to WrestleMania. The Bella Twins will be going for the tag team championships against the Irresistible Forces Friday night on SmackDown. And what will be the fallout with Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes? Tune in to the SmackDown recap show at 11:30 p.m. Eastern Friday night on the EVP show. And Saturday I'm off, and you can join me for episode 12 Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern of Sunday Night Scoops with the EVP as we get closer to WrestleMania. I'm sure there'll be a lot of questions about who the caller is and everything that WWE has started to twist a little bit, especially the ES Scott stuff. I'll try to see if I can find out on all of that. So make sure you guys tune in. Hit that notification bell. I had over 112 comments yesterday on Sunday Scoops. They might not have the YouTube views, but there was a lot of comments. So that showed pretty popular for a few people that come in on Sundays and enjoy that type of information. So thank you guys for that. And make sure you catch episode 12 of Sunday Scoops this coming up Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern. So that's it for me, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed Monday Night Raw, and we're almost there, guys, to WrestleMania. We're so close to WrestleMania now. But I will catch you guys. Make sure you guys tune in to Miami tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern for Inside the Mind. Hit that reminder notification bell and join me at 10:30 p.m. Eastern tomorrow for your NXT recap show. I am the EVP from the EVP show and the golden boy of DWE. DWE is the place to be. Good night, everyone, and I will see you guys tomorrow night at 10:30 p.m. Eastern for your NXT recap.